What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing something real different. As you can see, this is a tier list of Mousebot objects. So basically, if you don't know what I mean, there's this game I love playing called Mousebot. And yeah, I recommend you play it. It's a super fun game. It's also quite underrated. So yeah, this is Mousebot. And if you love Mousebot, please subscribe to the channel because I might add it to the list of videos I usually make. I'm a huge fan of Mousebot, CapCut, DreamWorks, Godzilla, Jurassic World and Roblox Gaming. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. So let's get started, shall we? And first up, we've got, well, as you can see, we've got a mousetrap. Now, most people don't like the mousetrap, because most people consider it a bit boring. But this might be a bit debatable, but I personally think the mousetrap's really good. Like, it's honestly not that boring. Like, it's great for teasing. Like, there's points in the game where I'm just, like, I see a bit of cheese in the distance, so I go to collect it, realizing it's cheese trapped in a mousetrap, so I can't collect it. So yeah, it's really good for teasing. Like, this is such an underrated obstacle. You'll get used to it annoying you sometimes. But Mousebots are so nostalgic. No, not Mousebots. Well, they are nostalgic, but Mousetraps, like, they're really fun. They're the original. They're the first obstacle added to the entire game. So we should appreciate it for that. I most certainly do. Like, it's quite good for dodging. Like, especially on the last level, it's very common to die to the mousetrap. Trust me. And when I say trust me, I mean yes. Like, on the last level, the boss cat places mousetraps everywhere. That's how crazy he is. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. This is the Kitty Crusher. And honestly, it's my favourite obstacle of the entire game. Other than mousetrap, it was also on the first match of the entire game. This is also the first obstacle added to the game. Like, it's very rare for a game to have their first step obstacle be their best one, because I adore the Kitty Crushers. I just love how they just smack the ground. And the person that made the lasers was actually destroyed by that thing when the lasers didn't kill the Mousebot, since the Mousebot's unstoppable. That meant that he would have to get tortured, of course, because he didn't do what the boss cat said. He didn't manage to defeat the mouse. So the boss cat then punished him by crushing him with a Kitty Crusher. And yeah, these are very unique obstacles. I love the Kitty Crushers. Like, for a first obstacle, this is actually super fun. Trust me, guys. I appreciate the Kitty Crushers a lot. They are so much fun. And while we're here, if you have the Kitty Crushers and it's your favourite obstacle, comment down below that you agree. Because me personally, come on now. It's like one of the best by far. It's such a good obstacle. It's a lot of fun. So yeah. Yeah. And they're also quite easy as well. They're not annoying. So yeah, I think it deserves to be there. Moving on, these ones are actually quite bland. So I feel like this obstacle is reference to a cheese griller, like what you use to grill a slice of cheese or whatever, to turn it into lined pieces of cheese. So yeah, I'm going to put this one in C tier. It's not very exciting, not going to lie. It could be a lot more fun. However, its most unique version and its hardest version is the underwater version, where the water is swaying and there's a griller in the water, and when the water sways, you've got to try and get on top of the water, otherwise you will get destroyed by the griller. Because it is true that the griller can happen, like, it can be underwater. Like, yeah, there are points where you go underwater in this game, and it's actually quite challenging. Anyways, moving on to Paw Saw. That is B tier. Quite a bit better than the griller. Like, I get teased by the paw saws a lot because I sometimes forget what side the paw saws are coming from, which could come in handy. So yeah. So this is the third obstacle of the entire game, or fourth. Yeah, it is the fourth. So yeah. And I've got to be honest, it's very unique. You can't jump over it, it's too big, obviously. So yeah. Like, if you don't like the paw saw, that's just, like, explain why in the comments if you're someone that doesn't like the paw saw. Because I don't really get what's wrong with it. A bit like the mousetrap. They're basically the same. Except, paw saws, they're more unique. You know, yeah. So, I'd say paw saws have an epic design. They spice up the game a little bit, which I appreciate. Because, you know, the game's got to get better, not worse. So, as you can see, this is one of the levels where, like, you can't, like, it's not even anything really. Like, all it is, like, every door just comes with multiple paw saws each time. Like, literally, in this run, the only obstacle there is are paw saws. That's literally it. This is a bit of a boring round. But hey, and please don't comment saying please do a tier list of the Mousebot levels. Because first of all, they're basically the same. Second of all, that would take hours, man. Like, I don't think it would go very well. Anyways, finished talking about the paw saw, moving on to the bomb. Trust me, guys, the bomb is so annoying. Like, every time I go underwater or anything, whatever, I try to collect cheese and I do so many good clutches, but the bomb absolutely ruins it. Like, and not to mention, I'm not very good at controlling underwater. So if I try and use my brakes and turn, or my submarine mouse brakes, or whatever, I don't really know how to describe it, but whatever I use, like, every time I try and dodge a bomb, I always fail. The bombs are actually so annoying. So because of that, I had to put them in D tier. Like, they're still unique, don't get me wrong, but come on now. They're worse than the cheese griller. Like, and especially if the water is swaying, that's what makes it even harder. Like, as you can see, I'm struggling to keep myself in position. I almost got hit by the bomb that time. Not the land bomb, the underwater bomb. Oh yeah, and I died to a mousetrap. But anyway, that's the bomb. It's really annoying. It's one of the worst ones in the game. And it's unique, I'll say that, but it's still annoying. Now, we're moving on to the good ones because we've talked about a few mid ones. So this one is the laser. The laser is really unique. And a bit like the cheese griller, it is true that the laser also is like, you can also get it underwater. You've got to try and go underneath it. Like, if the water's swaying. Like, let me just show you right now. This is the example. Look, I just have to dive below the laser and hope it doesn't get me at the last second. It's honestly really unique. It gets annoying sometimes, but you will all get used to it, guys. So as you can see, I'm dodging the lasers like a legend. So yeah, this is a level, like, this is like when the lasers were released to the game. And honestly, I was proud when they were because they're one of the best ones we've had in a while. Laser deserves like an A tier. Yeah, and they've also tricked me a few times. I've died to them quite a couple of times. So yeah, that is the laser explained for you. Next one, the pendulum. What am I supposed to say, guys? Pendulum is an easy S tier. Like, it's so unique. It's basically the same as how I described the kitty crushers. I just love how you just got to dodge the swaying pendulums, like, and can't you believe it? Just like the cheese griller and the laser, it also gets its very own unique underwater version. But anyways, I love the pendulums. Other than Kitty Crusher, pendulum's my second favourite obstacle in the entire game. It's so unique. And also, when the pendulums were added, it was also when the game got spiced up by a mile. This is when the game became legendary. Because as soon as I saw the pendulum level back in 2018, when they didn't have all these updates, like more rounds each game, I was like, wow, the pendulum round's by far the best one I've had. And yeah, I really like it. It's also the biggest one in the game. They're a bit bigger than these kitty crushers right here, as you can see. And yeah. And here's their own underwater version. They're a lot slower underwater. And yeah, there you go. That's what I mean by bombs killing me all the time. But yeah, that's the pendulum explained for you. It's such a unique one. Now we're moving on. Out of all the newer ones, like the ones near the end, this is by far the worst one. I'm honestly not a big fan of the acid. I'll admit it has a really cool death animation where if you fall in it, it comes as a skull. But yeah, that doesn't change anything, man. Because, like, it's pretty boring actually. All it is trying to avoid some acid. It's honestly easy, if anything. I've only died to it a couple of times. It's probably the thing I've died to the least. I'm even thinking about moving it to E tier, but now I feel nice. I'm going to keep it in D tier. So yeah, as you can see, I'm finding it easy to dodge the acid. Like, all you got to do is just walk across, or I don't know how to describe a mouse. Run across? Yeah. So yeah. And it doesn't even appear that much. Like, if I had to say the hardest round for the acid, it was the last one because there was a lot more. And there was lots of like pendulums and lasers defending the acid, which made it harder to dodge. But when it first arrives to the game, it's so easy. And it's easy to get the hang of. Like, when I first saw this, I found it really unique. And I even died on purpose a couple of times because of it. Because I found the death animation really unique. Like, actually, you don't get it. And yeah, next up we got the Mind Spawn. And honestly, this is very controversial. But the Mind Spawns, which is a land version of the bomb, is the worst object in the game. It's so annoying. Like, I do so well to play Mousebot. Like, it's so hard. And these things right here ruin it. Like, literally, man. Like, I remember on the last level of the entire game back in 2019 or 2018, I don't remember. I was literally one away from completing the entire game. It was the last stage and the finishing door was just over there. There was a kitty crusher on one side and a bomb on the other. So I went to collect the cheese from the kitty crusher side and the bomb blew me up. The bomb ruins everything. It tosses you about everywhere. Like, I'll admit that's unique. But still, man. And look, you're just about to see a clip now of me getting really annoyed. Like, I have to try and avoid all of those bombs. And this is the scene right here. So, as you can see, there are kitty crushers on one. Like, I did something smart. I removed all the bombs first, then I went backwards. And then I aimed for the cheese inside of the kitty crusher, and that's when I aimed. That's the most recommended thing to do. But the next thing I did was pretty sad, because the finishing door is just over there. And I did not see the Mind Spawns, and I got blown up at the last second. Which is kind of sad to think about. I still kind of think about it now. But yeah. Next up, we're finally back to some unique ones. Cat zappers are my third favourite obstacle in the entire game. These ones are so unique. They're basically the same as kitty crushers, not gonna lie. They basically do the exact same thing. Like, they go in the same direction as the kitty crushers, because as you know, the kitty crushers would usually smash on any side they wanted to. The cat zappers basically do the same thing. Cat zappers are really unique and cool. And it's honestly understandable why they were the last obstacle in the game, because they're really cool. But yeah, it's a shame they were, because the cat zap's only in 2 labs, which means that you rarely see them, and they deserve to be shown more. But on the last level, they recently had a new level, and cat zappers were in it quite a bit, so that made up for it a little bit, I suppose. But yeah, as you can see, the cat zappers are copying the kitty crushers. They're both doing the exact same thing. And look, they're both going straight forward on that photo, as you can see. I found it really funny seeing this for the first time, both the cat zappers and the kitty crushers copying each other. It was really funny. But I don't know why I thought it was funny, but still. Anyways, last but not least, maybe odd to add since it's not really an evil object that tries to kill you. But I added the Mousebot that I play as, and of course it's unique. I'm adding it S tier. Like, I'm using the word unique so much because that's basically the game. As you can see, this is my mouse. You can do so many fun stuff with it. You can give it new skins. As you can see, I am giving it some beautiful looking skins. That one looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. And this one, yeah, that was my favorite one. I like its cowl design. Again. Oh, the lime's one of my favorite colors. It's like my 5th favorite color after black, orange, blue, and red. But yeah. And yeah, that one's pretty alright. And yeah, thanks for watching today's video. Please subscribe and I'll see you next time.